Hello, in this recording we want to talk about a couple of different topics, but I want to do it all with one problem. And that's this one right here. It's find the perimeter. Perimeter of what? Well, it's it's kind of like Superman symbol thing, right? Is that the shape of the symbol on his chest? Is with the S inside of it? I think so. That's called a pentagon. And pentagon just means there's 5 sides. It's not really very even. But when we're finding the perimeter, we mean just take all the side lengths and add them up. That's what perimeter means. That's a math problem we can do. So let's try it. Let's see. My pen is working. There it is. Okay, so we're just going to say 3 plus 6 plus 2 plus 7 plus 8. And this is not a difficult problem. We have to admit up front, it's not a difficult problem. So we could do this, and it's no big deal. We could probably do it on our fingers. Certainly we could do it on a calculator. It's not anything too tough. But I want to start thinking about doing math problems like this smarter. So doing them so that even though this one is particularly easy, they become even more easy. And the first way we're going to do that is we're going to pick and choose what things we're going to add together first. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to say the easiest thing to do would be 3 plus 7. 3 plus 7 is really nice, right? Why is that? Why is 3 plus 7 a nice one? It's because 3 plus 7 is 10, right? And likewise, 2 plus 8 is also really easy. 2 plus 8 is also 10. 10s are super easy to add together. And then there's that plus 6, which we haven't found anything nice to add that with, but you probably already know the answer now. If you didn't already have it figured out, you do now. But I'm going to take a second step here. But before I do that, what allowed me to take that first step? Why was I allowed to just move those around? Well, it turns out there is a property of addition that says I can just move the things I'm adding together around and so that they're in a different order, and that's called the commutative property. Let me see if I can squeeze that in here. The commute, 2 M's, commutative. This is the commutative property of addition. Oh, look at that. I like how I'm being lazy there. The commutative property of addition says you can just change the order in things. But why would we do that? Well, to make it easier for us to add these together. Later on in math, we'll have problems where we couldn't have done the addition without applying the commutative property. But for now, this is just for convenience. Let me apply the second property to really make this clear what we're doing. 3 plus 7 plus 2 plus 8 plus 6. Now you know that according to the order of operations, once I put 3 plus 7 first, that's the first addition that I'm going to do. But I wanted to make that explicit by putting parentheses around the 3 plus 7. Just kind of telling myself and everybody else I'm doing that one first. And then I also wanted to do the 2 plus 8 before I did anything else. And so I put parentheses around that. What I'm doing by putting those parentheses is changing the order in which I add things. If I didn't have the parentheses, I would have to do 3 plus 7, that's fine. And then I'd have to take that answer plus 2, and then that answer plus 8, and then that answer plus 6. So I have to add them in order. But by putting parentheses around, now I can do the 3 plus 7 first, the 2 plus 8 second, and then add those answers together plus the 6. All right, now, what rule allows me to change the order in which I add them together. Another big word. It turns out these ones are really, really important. And so these are actually, I mean, you're going to learn a lot more properties when you get into algebra, but these ones are the big ones. There's one more that's even bigger. We'll talk about that in just a minute. This is the associative property of addition. The associative property says that I can choose which ones associate together with first, which ones to associate first, because it's all addition, so it doesn't matter. They're all going to get added anyway. I can go in any order I like. Now, I'm done applying properties. Now I'm just going to do the math. 3 plus 7 is 10. 2 plus 8 is 10. Plus 6. And then 10 plus 10 is 20. Plus 6 is 26. So you can see that that was the easy way to do it. Now, let's just be honest with ourselves. You probably would have done something like that yourself. You might have just said, well, 3 plus 7 and 2 plus 8, and that's 20 plus 6, and there we go, right? You could do that mentally in your head. You don't have to write it all out like this. But we're not just about seeing how clever you are in this class. Remember, our main thing is we want to practice good habits of showing your work and being really clear with yourself and with everybody else what it is that you're doing when you're cleverly doing the math. So you can be clever all you want in your brain and nobody sees it and everybody thinks you're really smart, but if it's more important for you to learn to write it all out and to show your thinking so that when you get to harder problems, when you get to harder concepts, you're able to do it then too. So we're still practicing showing our work. I do want you, when you're doing multiple numbers added together, to get in the habit of writing them all out and take several lines to reveal that. Make sure that you read through the section carefully and look at the other properties. Oh, there's one last property. It's so simple that we almost don't even like to say it, but it's this property that says 26 plus 0 equals 26. The property, that's the addition property of 0. Let's see, what's that called? Yeah, it's the addition property of 0. That one just says that if you add 0 to something, it doesn't change what it is. Now, seems like a crazy thing to say at this point, but it will come really clear later on when we do some negative numbers, how this one is helpful. So thank you very much for watching. Have a great time, and I will talk to you later.